Don't worry, it's not a secret society of supervillains, though they definitely want you to think that. It's actually a trio of personality traits that, when combined, create a human cocktail that is 1 part toxic, 1 part dangerous, and 2 parts utterly fascinating. So grab your binoculars and your emotional hazmat suit. We're going on a safari into the human soul. We're looking for the big 3, the narcissist, the Machiavellian, and the psychopath. Part 1. The narcissist, the one who looks in the mirror and sees box office gold. Imagine, if you will, a pond. It's a nice pond, frogs, lily pads, the occasional dragonfly. Now, imagine a man comes and stands at the edge of this pond. He doesn't skip stones, he doesn't look at the fish. He stares at his own reflection. He's not looking for a pimple. He's composing a sonnet about the sheer magnificence of his own cheekbones. He's so captivated he falls in. He then expects the fish to applaud. This is the narcissist. The clinical definition is a grandiose sense of self-importance. But honestly, that's like saying the Titanic had a minor plumbing issue. The narcissist doesn't just think they're special. They believe they are the main character in a movie where, well, you are simply an extra. Your purpose is to hand them their coffee, admire their lines, and then, get out of the shot, spotting them in the wild, the humble brag. So, how do you identify this magnificent creature before they ask you to be their unpaid personal assistant? Well, listen closely. The narcissist has a unique call, a siren song that sounds like conversation but is actually just a monologue. They'll tell you a story about a recent failure. And in this story, their failure is actually everyone else's fault, and it ultimately highlights just how brilliant they are. For example, normal person might say, yeah, I didn't get the promotion, I'm a bit bummed, but my colleague Sarah is really talented, so good for her. Now, the narcissist, I didn't get the promotion. Obviously, the committee was a bunch of jealous Philistines who couldn't recognize true vision if it hit them in the face. They're intimidated by me. My ideas were too revolutionary for their tiny, cubicle-sized brains. Honestly, the company is losing me. They'll be begging me to come back as a consultant for triple the money within a year. I'm basically doing them a favor by failing. See the difference? One is a human. The other is a one-person press release for their own greatness. The feeling, a deep, aching emptiness. For them. Here's the dark joke at the heart of the narcissist. Underneath all that shimmering, gold-plated self-esteem is, well, a bottomless pit of insecurity. They are addicted to admiration, what psychologists, call narcissistic supply. Rather like a plant is addicted to sunlight. Without it, they wilt. They need you to tell them they're great. They need your envy. They need your attention, even if it's negative. If you're not giving them attention, you are, in their eyes, clinically dead to them. Dealing with a narcissist is like being a mirror that talks back. And if that mirror ever cracks, or heaven forbid shows a smudge, they will smash you and find a new mirror. Part 2. The Machiavellian, the chess grandmaster who thinks you're a pawn. Our next stop on this tour of terrible is honestly a bit quieter. Less fireworks, more scheming. If the narcissist is the flamboyant actor on stage, the Machiavellian is the shady puppet master in the back, holding the strings and perhaps picking your pocket while you watch the show. The name comes from Niccolò Machiavelli, a 16th century political philosopher who wrote a book called The Prince. It was, well, a sort of how-to guide for rulers, advocating for cunning, deceit, and manipulation as the best tools for holding on to power. You could say it was the original Game of Thrones playbook, only with, fewer dragons and considerably more stabbings. And yes, there was indeed a book cover titled The Prince. Spotting them in the wild, the friendly schemer, the Machiavellian views people as pieces on a board, their goal to win. They are, frankly, cynical, pragmatic, and believe the ends always justify the means. They don't have the emotional flashiness of the narcissist. Instead, they're cold, calculated, and strategic. You might spot one in your office. Let's call him Kevin. Kevin is your friend. Kevin brings you coffee. Kevin asks about your kids. Kevin is also subtly, over the course of 6 months, positioning himself to take credit for your project while making it look like you can't handle the workload. He's not doing it because he's angry at you. He's doing it because you are a bishop and he needs to clear a path for his queen. It's just good strategy. Just the feeling, the slow-motion betrayal. The dark humor of dealing with a Machiavellian is that you almost have to admire the craft. It's a long con. They are playing a game you didn't even know you had signed up for. For example, you're in a meeting. Your boss is discussing a new initiative. You say, "I have some experience with that. I'd be happy to lead a small task force." Kevin, the Machiavellian, later, in the boss's office, says, "You know, I'm a little worried about OP taking that on. They're a bit of a lone wolf. Great person, don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure they have the team temperament for this. Maybe we should consider someone more diplomatic. I'd be happy to oversee it and make sure OP's ideas are still incorporated, of course. I'd hate to see them struggle." He's not lying, he's just selectively curating the truth to serve his endgame. He protects his image as the helpful colleague while simultaneously tripping you and taking the ball. You're left wondering why you feel so confused and, honestly, slightly dirty while Kevin gets a promotion. The joke's on you, you forgot you were playing chess. Part 3. The Psychopath, the Shark in a World of Minnows. And now we arrive at the main event, the one you've been waiting for. The individual who makes the first two look like a community theatre production. We're talking about the psychopath. Let's be clear about what we mean. We're not necessarily talking about a chainsaw-wielding maniac in a leather mask. That's the Hollywood version. The clinical version is, in many ways, far more terrifying because they walk among us. They are charming, they are confident, they are also completely and utterly devoid of a key human ingredient, empathy. Imagine a shark. A shark doesn't hate the fish it eats. It feels no malice. It feels nothing at all. It's just hungry. The psychopath is the same. They see people not as people, but as objects to be used for stimulation, money, or just for the fun of it. Spotting them in the wild, the thrill seeker with the empty eyes, they have, this sort of superficial, glib charm. They can walk into a room and just, own it. They're the life of the party, the smooth talker who makes you feel like you're the most interesting person in the world. But here's the thing, it's a mask. A very, very good mask. The key difference between a psychopath and a narcissist, the narcissist needs you to admire them. The psychopath, on the other hand, doesn't care what you think. They just want to see what they can get from you. They are frankly pathologically dishonest, impulsive, and need constant stimulation. They get bored easily. And when they get bored, they tend to do things. The feeling, the existential dread. Dealing with a psychopath is a bit like petting a dog that suddenly, without warning, bites your hand off. There's no reason. There was no growl. It just decided to. Example, like you meet a charming, charismatic person at a bar. Let's call him Chad. Chad is a successful entrepreneur. He has a great watch. He tells hilarious stories about traveling the world. You feel like you've made a real connection. You give him your number. He calls. You go on a few amazing dates. He tells you he's starting a new hedge fund and asks if you'd like to invest a small amount. You do. A week later, Chad is gone. Your money is gone. You later find out Chad's real name is Greg. He's been married 3 times. And your investment paid for a very nice weekend in Vegas with someone else he met at another bar. He didn't do it because he hated you. He did it because you were there, and he was bored, and he needed money. You were just a resource, a talking wallet. The psychopath feels no guilt, no remorse. They have a complete lack of empathy. You could tell them your dog died and they'd look you in the eye, pat you on the back, and ask if you could lend them $50. And you might even give it to them because that charm is a hell of a drug. Part 4, the Dark Tetrad. Meet the bonus member you didn't want on your team. Everyday sadism. Just when you thought it was safe to go back to the office, science had to go and ruin it. Psychologists, apparently not satisfied with giving us 3 reasons to be anxious, have proposed a 4th member to this little club. They call it the Dark Tetrad, and the new guy is a real piece of work. Meet everyday sadism. If the psychopath is the shark who bites you because he's hungry. The sadist is the shark who bites you because he wants to see if you'll scream, and then he wants to hear it again and again. Maybe he'll record it and listen to it on his morning commute. It adds a little spice to his day. This isn't the mustache-twirling villain from a Victorian novel, tying people to train tracks. This is subtle. This is the co-worker who tells you your fly is down in the middle of a presentation just to watch you squirm. This is the friend who shares an embarrassing story about you at a party, framing it as just being honest, while their eyes light up at your discomfort. Spotting them in the wild, the brutally honest troll. The everyday sadist gets a genuine visceral pleasure from the suffering of others. Not physical suffering necessarily, though for some that's the premium package. We're talking about emotional suffering, humiliation and frustration. They are the internet trolls in human form. They poke the bear, not because they're afraid of the bear, but because they want to see the bear dance in agony. You can spot them by their unique conversational style. They'll say something cruel or cutting, and when you react with shock or hurt, they'll lean back with a little smirk and say, "What? I'm just saying what everyone's thinking." Or, you know, the classic, "Oh, don't be so sensitive, I'm just teasing." No, Steve, you're not just teasing, you're feeding. There's a difference. The feeling, being the punchline to a joke you didn't know was being told. The dark humor of dealing with a sadist is that your pain is their entertainment. You are, quite literally, a spectator sport. And the game is, well, how fast can we make OP cry? Example, you've just finished a huge project. You're tired but proud. You present it in a team meeting. There's polite applause. Then from the back of the room, a voice. "Wow, that's interesting. You know, I read a study once that said projects done on this budget usually fail within 6 months. Not saying yours will, of course, just interesting. Statistically speaking, they then give you a little smile, a little wink. They've just planted a seed of doubt and anxiety in your gut, and they're going to savor that moment for the rest of the day. They're not offering constructive criticism. They're offering a little slice of psychological warfare served cold. Part 5. When the triad teams up. Of course, life isn't a neat little textbook. People are messy. You can have a narcissist with Machiavellian tendencies. You can have a psychopath who is also a narcissist. A truly terrifying combo, honestly. But to see the Dark Triad in its full, unholy glory, you need to go to one place, a high-stakes corporate environment. Imagine a boardroom. The CEO is a grandiose narcissist. He stands at the head of the table, not listening to a word anyone says, because he's too busy imagining the bronze statue they'll erect of him in the lobby. His second in command is a Machiavellian. She is patiently, silently noting every weakness, every insecurity, every failed project of everyone in the room. She is building a mental database to be used at the perfect moment, maybe in 5 years, to take the top spot. And leading the new restructuring project is a high-functioning psychopath. He's been hired to shake things up. He fires people with a smile, eviscerates departments without a second thought, and lies to the press with the sincerity of a saint. He doesn't care about the company. He cares about the bonus, the thrill of the power, and the beautiful, beautiful chaos he's creating. And you? You're just in accounting, trying to file your TPS reports, caught between a god, a spider, and a shark. The grand finale, the joke's on, all of us, so where does this leave us? Are we just supposed to walk through life with a clipboard diagnosing everyone we meet as a potential emotional vampire? Hopefully not. The final cosmic punchline of the Dark Triad is this: they are a mirror, not a flattering one like the narcissist carries around, but a funhouse mirror. They reflect the parts of society we secretly, or, well, not so secretly, admire. We live in a world that rewards confidence, even when it's baseless. We celebrate the winners who climb the ladder, rarely asking whose fingers they stepped on. We're fascinated by the charming rogue, the smooth-talking anti-hero. We've built a culture that in many ways is a playground for the Dark Triad. The narcissist thrives on the social media likes we're all so eager to give. The Machiavellian thrives in the cutthroat corporate world we've built. The psychopath thrives in the high-stakes worlds of finance and politics we watch with awe. And the sadist, well, they thrive in the comment sections of the articles we write. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a date with a pond. I'm going to go look at the frogs. They're much better company.
If you found this guide empowering, take the next step in strengthening your personal boundaries. Save this video and return to it whenever you need a reminder of your own power. Share it with a friend who could use these strategies. You might be the catalyst for a positive change in their life. Follow and subscribe for more content like this as we continue to explore the tools and mindsets for building an unbreakable character and a life of your own design. Stay sharp, keep focus. You deserve the best.